Workshop is to begin at 1 o'clock. So we will get started. I was thinking something and it completely went away. No, it wasn't Tim Redmond. It was Harold. Would you please start a sign-in sheet for me?
Okay.
Would you mind doing that and just shepherd that through the room? If you would sign in so we know who's here, we would appreciate it. And to begin this joint session, I'll turn the microphone over to the chairman of the Life and Asset Committee, at least the Life and Asset Committee for now, which may turn into the Life and Asset Trust, Mr. Tim Redmond.
Okay, thank you, and golly, I mean, there are just so many people to thank. I have to thank my vice chair, Leroy Duback, and you know, we're kind of, you know, joined at the hip. I do reading and writing, and he does arithmetic. But I have to say that Alan Priest has done a spectacular job in providing a transition, which I think is very important. All right. And the key thing about the transition is that the delegates can always fire the LMA committee, and that's important. That we have to answer to the delegates. The LMA is the savings account of the U.S. Chess Federation. Operations is the checking account of the U.S. Chess Federation. And operations, of course, is always wanting to, you know, find more money for things. And I have to commend President Herring and Executive Director Bill Hall and Vice President for Finance Ellen Priest for coming up with this was a really good year for us. This was, so congratulations for that. There are, however, there is one person that I have to commend above all others. It's Joe Nannon. I just can't tell you how good this guy is. Total integrity, total honesty, total trust, total immediate response whenever I send an email, and an occasional teasing response, as when I was in Italy, as I am every summer. He said, you know, Tim, this was private, pasta is really not good for the waistline. And I wrote back, a waist is a terrible thing to mind. I am very pleased to say that we have a completely cooperative arrangement between LMA and operations. It's a little bit of a tough love situation because they would like more money and we don't like to give it to them. But I'm completely confident that we have a great relationship with operations. The most important thing for me to report to you today is how are we doing, right? And so what we've been doing is saving money. We just put more money into the account, and there is basically, we're about $100,000 ahead of things. There is a loan that the operations is paying down quite responsibly to the LMA. encumbered amount of money, an additional $100,000 roughly, with Cumberland County Bank. This was completely approved by the LMA, that this is something to kind of retain a good balance for our mortgage. So it is an encumbered amount of $100,000. That is a certificate of deposit, and LMA has no problem with this. This is fine. That's what we're doing. And then we also have the building, which is, basically the building is the delegates. The delegates control the building. We just hold it in trust for them. The appraisal was $578,000. There is, my intent, if you continue me as the chair of LMA, there's no reason to charge any rent to the building. That's just something we have, right? So what do? Okay, first of all, we praised Joanna once he gets, agreed with that. And we praised Bill Hall and his operations for doing a good job, and Susan for also. I can continue, or Susan.
I'm not Susan, but
I'm Ruth. That was really bad. I'm sorry. Ruth.
Are we going to go over this in detail?
We can. Yeah, we can. Let me just give you.
I was wondering, can you also print out like a 5-year running comparison so we can get a historical perspective?
Joe can do that, and he will do that. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And that's but that's a very good question. Basically, we're much better off than we were, but given the investment situation now is, if any of you are following this, is dismal, right? We are looking at the fiscal cliff.
Well,
Okay.
I'm not sure I would agree with that. The investment situation is, nothing about it. That's dismal, but there are people out there making money, and there are people out there losing money. It's all a matter of how balanced your investment strategy is, which leads me to my question of what is the investment strategy?
We do have an investment strategy. It is extremely conservative.
Can we get a statement or a talk about the
I will get into that.
Thank you.
We are not happy at this point. All right. There are 9 members of the LMA committee. Several of them are multimillionaires. We have all kinds of investment people counseling us as to what to do. All right. And we are extremely conservative about what we're going to do. Jack Adamo, very good guy, a day trader, resigned from the committee. I had the advice and counsel of Bill Deutschberg, put him on. He was a very good member of the LMA board, very good guy. But what he wanted to do was too extreme for what the LMA wanted to do. Every single person in this room has an investment strategy, all right? And we are extremely conservative about what we are going to do. First of all, number one, there is the fiscal cliff that you've all heard about that will happen on January 1st, whether or not all of these things are going to be renewed, going to happen. We're not sure what's going to happen.
Well, we don't
Third, now, let me just answer.
We don't know if the end times are coming or not.
Ruth, let me just answer, okay?
Okay.
And then at the end of my answer, right, then, would that make sense? Then you can go ahead. Okay, so right now, that's all right. Okay, so we have the fiscal cliff. All right, no one knows what's going to happen on January 1st. And there are all kinds of tax consequences and everything else. Secondly, there is the euro crisis. I just spent, as I said, 3 weeks there. When I'm there, I read the center-right Messaggero. I read the center-left Repubblica, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. All right. Third, there is the election, and we don't know what's going to happen with the election. We just don't know this. Fourth, there is a banking crisis. All right, and you read about this every day. Recently, it's LIBOR, which you're of course familiar with, I think. And fourthly, there is the high frequency trading volume, right? That has almost took down a major bank. So, what the LMA is trying to do is invest cautiously. Everyone in this room, perhaps, has an idea about what we should be doing to make money, but the LMA's responsibility is to be extremely cautious with the money of the Federation and the LMA. Having said that, and I'm sure that everyone in the room has got an idea how we can invest. The best idea that people have come up with is to buy the mortgage. That this is the only thing that LMA has finally decided that it wants to do. And by the way, tomorrow you can fire us all right? So which is fine. But let's be cautious here. We are very, very cautious. What we've been doing is we lent money to him, and I will recognize you, sir. We did lend money, which is being paid down in a responsible manner, which means, of course, that we're perfectly willing to continue to lend money. That and Joe, what's the result? On the mortgage? No, on the loan.
Rents around 2%.
It's 2%. Thank you. And that's fine. We do have an amount that is encumbered with the Cumberland County Bank, which was done with my approval and the approval of the LMA. That there is, this just made a lot of sense to us that we would do this. So it's being guaranteed as against a line of credit. We have no problem with that whatsoever. In terms of the fiscal assets of the Federation, they are slightly less than we would like, okay, because we did appraise the property for about $22,000 less than we thought. There is no rent whatsoever that is being charged to the Federation for this, and as long share, it will never be charged. That's basically what I consider a trade-off, okay, against the older responsibilities that we have to the life members, as opposed to those newer life members, where in Bill Hall's memorable phrase, we drew a line in the sand in Cherry Hill. Yes. And so, okay, so what are we going to do with that? Meantime, the only thing, should you, the delegates, continue the LMA responsibility of the members that we have, probably what we're going to do is buy out the mortgage. But, and complete transparency here, so you know. Yes, sir.
Three related comments. One is the paying off mortgage is not a risk-free transaction. You're holding cash right now, which is paying essentially nothing. I consider that a good thing because liquidity is a good thing in this market. Okay, so if the end times are coming, it's good to have cash. If the end times are coming, it's not good to be paying off a mortgage. The current ratio of USCF at year-end 2011 was roughly 0.28, which is pretty wretched. This year, the current ratio is 0.23, which is even more wretched. I'm not saying that the overall situation has improved, but the current position, Joe, you're not rolling cash, is not so hot. Secondly, it's not clear to me what the life membership assets are supposed to be funding. I look at deferred multi-year memberships and deferred revenue from life and sustainment, and I add them up, I get about 1.15 million. You've got almost 1.3 million on the books. One would think that you're overfunded by 150,000. And trust me, being overfunded is not a bad thing. I'm not complaining. I'm just noting. Third, if the end times aren't coming, and it's nice to get your 6%, and there is a difference between being really conservative and putting everything under a rock. So I would prefer, rather than having the mortgage paid off, to throw it in something like Vanguard balance. Not all of it. Keep 300,000 cash. As you grow above, keep 300,000 cash, keep everything above it, at your 6%. Hopefully that will roughly track the mortgage. If you take my advice, I guarantee you the market will tank 25%. Because I'm terrible at these things. But over the long haul, even though my market timing price is crappy, LMA can still do better because 6% on average means 1%. You can't look at that as over 1 or 2 years. That's over a decade.
Thank you, Bill. One of the nice things that we have in this particular LMA committee is that we get very, very smart people, giving us really, really good advice, and then we process it, and then it comes out to be that we have, because of the financial cliff, because of the euro crisis, because of the election, because of the banking crisis, because of high frequency trading, we are extremely cautious, and therefore we have continued to put our money into this most dismal account, which is awful, but we're all there, and anyone who has any money is all there. Now, I've got no problem whatsoever with having more advice from more people, but I'm just reporting on the committee's idea, which is let's be very cautious. What we've done in the past historically is put the money into the building. let's just say, all right, we've got roughly something like $600,000 in cash when we put it all together, right? And so we would be paying down, I think, $223,000. Joe?
Yeah.
So it's the balance is $223,000. We are perfectly comfortable with doing that, and you know, essentially it would be putting the left pocket into the right pocket. Okay, so we're all together here. You know, this is not, the LMA is not separate from the organizational structure of the Federation. It would be taking about half or less than half, paying off the mortgage, which means that instead of paying the bank for the money, we would be paying ourselves for the money. And this is what seems to be the consensus of the LMA. Ruth?
If we paid off money, would we be able to turn around the next day and borrow the same amount of money as we needed to?
That would depend, no, it would depend on the delegates.
No, I'm not, I'm saying banking and credit-wise and liquidity-wise. We pay off that mortgage and given all of the fiscal cliff and the crisis, do you really think that any bank would give us a loan for $250,000?
We would have that money in the bank.
We have the credit now.
No, but we would have that money in the bank. We would have something up, you know, if we paid the mortgage off, all right, then we would have another $250,000 in cash ready for
Making 1% interest and losing to inflation.
What is your suggestion?
Well, I'm just saying that we have the credit right now, and it's a very tight situation. I would want to think very, very hard about whether or not we should pay off that obligation in this kind of an environment. I mean, I'm open to hearing it. It may be the right decision. I just like to hear more analysis of the entire situation and the strategy before I can even, get close to deciding if I think that's a wise decision. And I really don't hear the basic information that I want to hear that makes me feel really comfortable that, yeah, that's where we should go. Of course, I'm not on the committee.
The basic information is this simple. We are not willing to go into the stock market. We are not willing to go into the bond market. We are looking at all kinds of intangible, unlikely situations, but we are willing to say, let's pay off the building because we've done this in the past and it's worked. So we're getting what, 5% or something, and gosh, if anyone gets 5% here, take it. Okay, because I would like that, take 5%.
Have you considered that after we pay it off, we may not have an easy time getting credit if we need it?
No, we're not being extravagant here, Ruth. Okay, because we're talking about basically maintaining a liquidity of $200,000 or $300,000. So it's not as though we're turning in everything for the building. We will maintain that liquidity, and as a matter of fact, as you probably have all read, I hope, okay, that there are some cautions that we are very concerned about. We're very concerned about the supranationals, and Leroy and I have been in conversation with Joe about taking out an insurance policy that the LMA will pay for to make sure that there isn't a terrorist problem, there isn't a weather problem, because we have so much invested in making money from a supranational event that the LMA has, I think, responsibly and you know, with the guidance of Joanna, looked at ensuring this event cost us $5,000 to do it, but ensuring that if there is a disaster, we're not going to lose everything, right? So, because there, that's where we are very cautious about this, very cautious. Yes?
Gary, as you know, extremely conservative is not an obligation. Prudence is an obligation. You can be conservative to the point of prudent. How is the LMA measuring success? How are you measuring yourselves in the marketplace and the performance of the LMA?
That's a very good point. First of all, we're not even sure we're going to be the LMA. And, but let's assume that we're the same people that are going to be there. We're measuring ourselves against a standard of 3%, and by putting half of our money into the mortgage, that's 5%, and so we're going to work from that. I just made it up.
Just one more question.
Yes.
You're talking about what is the connection between the LMA and the national?
There is no direct connection, but, all right, you will notice the fact that the LMA has a lot of past presidents on it who are extremely concerned with the future of the U.S. Chess Federation and are extremely knowledgeable about that. And it was my suggestion, and Leroy agreed, that the one huge exposure that the Federation had was if a disaster could happen with the supranationals. Okay, we're not concerned about the various national events that happen. It's just when they're all in one place. I expressed a concern that it seemed to be prudent to ensure that event. And I was talking to Joe Nana about this. He said it would cost us about $5,000. I thought it would be prudent to ensure that if a weather disaster happened, if a terrorism disaster happened, that we would not lose an enormous amount of money. That because all of our eggs are in that basket.
When you say we, you mean USCF?
It's all the Federation. We're we're not separate.